Nyoni. Thank you for joining me for this conversation. I cannot thank you enough. I know that you're busy, you have a lot of deployment to do at the moment, but you still took out time to have this conversation with me. I thank you for coming, for bringing your voice to the table, and of course for coming to share your expertise and perspectives and the great work that you're doing in Malawi, most especially with your innovation. So, I mean, for the sake of our viewers and listeners, we would love to have a bit, get to know you. Who are you? And I know your solutions already. And let me even tell our viewers before you even go deep into the conversation. So, Staff here, he has developed a solution called the Blind Classroom, right? Which is an AI-powered teaching assistant. It's an assistive technology for the visually impaired learners in Malawi. And at the moment, it's at its deployment stage. I think it has been deployed to schools, and it will be able to talk more about that. So this is it's a unique innovation, and it's something that when I see young people across the continent doing great things like this, and it's a story that is worth being spotlighted. So, Staff, let's get to meet you. I mean, just give us an insight into your background and how your background has been able to shape your mind and, of course, spark the idea that gave birth to this wonderful solution.
Yeah, so thank you for a wonderful introduction. As you have said, my name is Staff Nyoni. I'm a software developer. So I studied ICT at Young University from 2019 to 2023. That's where I got most of my IT knowledge. Yeah, so currently, graduated in 2023, of course. So currently, I'm the founder and CEO of Accessibility Africa. So we are a company dedicated at improving education for our friends who are visually impaired. Not only visually impaired, we are tackling special needs education, inclusion, that is. So currently, we have started targeting, So currently, we have started targeting our friends who are visually impaired. So, as you have said, we are in our deployment stage. We have done 2 schools, installed 20 systems. So our first stage of deployment is to go into 14 schools, where we're planning to plant at least 140 systems and reach a target of over 800 students in our first phase.
Okay. So what actually gave birth to this idea? Like, just walk us through, I mean, the vision to then the building the prototype, of course, the deployment stage.
Yeah.
And tell us a bit detail about what this idea is about. Maybe, of course, about technicalities and all.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Thank you. So I'll tell you in more or less like a story. My experience, it comes from my personal experience. I used to have my grandfather who was visually impaired. So I've been with my grandfather for a number of years until he passed on. So he was visually impaired. I've seen him, how he struggled, how it was difficult for him to lead, do some stuff, you know. So that was the first experience which I had with him. And when we moved from the area which we were staying at first, because my dad was a police officer. So when he retired in 2015, we moved to Nchengautua. That was more or less like a ghetto site. So when I was staying there, I came across this other lady. He was a young girl who was also visually impaired, but because of that problem, she stopped going to school. You know, so she's dropped out. By that time, I was just someone observing what is happening in the community. I didn't have the mandate to have anything to do which I can solve that problems. Yeah. So when fast forward, I joined Young University. That was 2019. Started studying ICT. Okay. So when I started studying ICT, I saw an opportunity that now I'm studying ICT. It's a program which will allow me to create things. So when I was doing my academics, the problems which I faced, which I saw in my communities back home, came again and said, "There's my grandfather was visually impaired. There was this lady who was also visually impaired and stopped going to school. What can I do to solve the challenges of these people. So then I started doing research on what is already existing, right? So when I did my research, I found out that the solutions which were put in place current were to address challenges which my grandfather was facing, because my grandfather was not in school, was not in the age where he was supposed to be in school.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow.
you can be in school at any age, but for him, it was more to do something which will help him just to lead, you know. So by
Okay.
then, what they have, which was like the JOs, the NVDs, they are skill leaders, uh, which are already deployed, they are working, but I didn't see a solution to help this young lady who was still in school.
In school,
So
yeah.
so when I was doing research, I saw that it was not only this lady, but it affected the whole Malawi as a nation, not only Malawi, as Africa as well. That's when I
Yeah.
got to find out out of 800,000 visually impaired people in Malawi, only 50,000 were in school, right? And from the 50,000 who were in school, 90% of them lacked what we call quality education. Because it's a thing of
Yeah.
education,
Yeah.
quality education. They
I
are
mean,
two different.
it's something that across the continent. When it comes
Yeah,
to quality education, inaccessibility quality education is a big challenge. Now,
yeah, it's a big
even
challenge.
that is even for underserved communities, for so many students, so many young students. Now, with the challenge of uh, ability challenge,
Yeah,
it's of course it now presents more problem
yeah,
for people within that cycle. So I like the fact that I mean, more like you lived, you saw it.
yeah,
I mean, you saw the challenges these people were facing, and you thought about, what, I need to find a solution to. I need to find solution to this challenge. And I like that you're creative. You thought it wise to want to do research, go about with research to be able to find solutions to build to ensure that you solve this challenge. So for now, you are
yeah,
at the deployment stage. You've deployed
yeah.
to two schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
St. Joseph, it is Deza, and then the only blind
Children
school
just,
in the Dunga, right?
yeah, yeah,
So what I know that there will be in this phase that I believe that you would of course be facing quite a number of challenges. What are the challenges that maybe you faced or you're facing at the moment, and how have you been able to overcome some of the challenges you face, and of course how are you navigating the challenges you're facing at the moment?
yeah. Challenges are always there when you are trying to invent something new, which is
Yeah.
resources are always a challenge. But
Yeah.
luckily for me, uh, I got an before I even established this company, I got support from Save the Children in Malawi through the Future Project, and Money Fund of Makla through the Money Fund. So Makla is a government body in Malawi, so they have a
Okay.
sub body which Money Fund, which supports innovation and stuff in Malawi. So I was lucky to get support from two parties, so which helped me to move further. I also got support from Next Lab. It's a lab here in Malawi,
Oh, okay.
which mentors young innovators to come up with good solutions. So
Okay.
resources was a big challenge, but luckily for me, I managed to get support from these parties, and also when you're trying to when you're trying to invent something new, it's a thing to do with mindset change.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The program is an AI powered virtual teacher, which will teach the students in classes. So when you're giving it to the community, people are like, "I know this one will take our jobs. No, we are relying on these jobs. You're coming this,
Yeah,
not the,
of course.
not
I know you will
the,
face. So I was going to ask that in terms of the pushbacks, because sometimes when you're developing a new solution, right?
yeah,
People see that. I mean, you believe that okay, these are challenges I want to solve, but to people,
yeah,
sometimes they see it as threat. Either they view it from perspective that will this solution not take my job,
yeah,
or there are some
yeah,
people that actually might also be benefiting from those challenges. and they believe that when these challenges are met, that
Yeah.
means you're taking food off their table. So I was going to ask,
Yeah.
what are the pushbacks that you've been getting that been stumbling block to you implementing this
Yeah.
project?
Yeah. But we have to make them understand that what we are trying to do is to improve education for the learners who are visually impaired
Yeah.
to start with. Because already we have a problem of teacher-student ratio currently. You see
Yeah.
that one teacher has a lot of students to attend to. So we have to tell them now,
Yes. Yeah.
this program is not here to replace, in as much as he's doing exactly your work, but we're not here to replace your jobs. But we're just trying to,
Yeah.
add new process one to the students and free up your time so that you can also be able to do some other things
Too.
while the learning is still going on. Yeah. But luckily enough, after some conversation here and there, we are.
I know, right?
And yeah, and also a thing to do with procedures. This is an academic system. The government
Yeah.
has the Ministry of Education who oversees the academics in the country. You also have to
Yeah.
get them on board. Yeah, so those
Yeah.
things they might not be straightforward, but yeah, we managed to take them on board.
To take them on board.
Yeah, change the
So
mindset of the
before we
people.
before we go into the tools, because I believe they are because I actually, I mean, for the sake of our listeners and viewers, I would actually
Yeah.
love you to explain the tool. I mean, the platform itself. What
Okay.
tools are you using? What
Yeah.
are what innovations have you been able to deploy? And in terms of content accessibility, how are these students using these tools?
Okay, so it's a straightforward thing. So we are using AI. We are using AI and machine learning to teach the students the same content
Okay.
which they learn in class. So
Oh, okay.
it's a voice based learning. So mind you, our target is friends who are visually impaired, mean that they have problems with their
Okay.
sight. Some are low
Yeah.
vision. So the communication gateway between the system and the student is voice. So what we did
Okay.
is we trained a teacher. You know, it's not just one teacher. There are multiple teachers for different subjects.
Okay.
So so we trained the teacher. So the teacher is installed in the system. So the setup itself, there is a headphone, something like this.
Okay.
So a student will put it,
Okay.
okay, and
Okay.
there is a small customized keyboard. Let me just see if I'm with it now.
Okay. That would be great if you can show us.
Yeah. Okay. So there's this one which they put like this, and the microphone for communication, and there's a
Okay.
small customized keyboard. It's only three keys, so they use that to navigate using the system. So when they start using the keyboard, the system will now open and will welcome them using
Okay.
voice. Welcome, welcome to the class, choose your class, and then the student will choose the class using the keyboard. So then the student will mention the ID number. So when we are registering students in the system, each and every student is given a simple code. So
Oh, okay.
so the student uses that code to enter the system because we have designed it to
Okay.
be personalized. It's just be the student and the teacher. So it's the teacher and the student. So when the
Okay.
student needs to know that code, the system will now know that, okay, now on the system, the teacher and the student know that, okay, on the system now I have staff, or I have John, I have Mike. So here's the thing: the other interesting part of the system is that it's very personalized in terms of learning paces. Because
Okay.
when I was doing my research, I went to the blind schools. I've been in classes with the blind schools. I've learned with them. And one thing I noted was that when the teacher's teaching is given a fixed amount of time, so the
Okay.
teacher is against the time and the content. So when the teacher is teaching, some students are left behind because some are slow learners, some are medium learners.
Yes, I was going to ask that. I was going to ask that. Yes.
Yeah, so because the teachers against time, those students they end up being left behind. I saw this when I was learning with the students, and the
Oh,
teacher also said
okay.
to me that this is a challenge which you're having because we're against time and you cannot be stressing one point on one student, So we said, no,
Yeah.
our system will address that. How? So our system is based on the
Yeah.
way that when someone is slow, the system is also adjust, the teacher automatically adjusts to a slow pace of learning to accommodate the
Okay.
needs of that student.
Okay, so you can slow the pace.
You can slow the pace to match your pace.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I mean, because even normal students, they have we have their own different challenge. They have their own different challenges. There are
Yeah.
people. They are slow learners. They are fast learners,
Yeah.
and this most times when you have different students in classes, teachers oftentimes teachers address them once as
Yeah.
students rather than understanding the critical issues with each of those students and their own peculiarities. But I like the fact that you've been able to factor in the different levels of understanding and levels of grasping of knowledge with the student. I like the approach that you're taking with that. That's actually so beautiful. So in terms of partnership at the moment, what partnership do you have, and what partnership are you exploring such that will catalyze the maybe adoption of your project at large scale, and you can be deployed maybe across Malawi schools and beyond?
Yeah. Okay. So currently we've partnered with Save the Children International.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are acting as a financial muscle to our program. We've also worked with Monifund, though we're not officially as partners, but we have worked together. And of course, the Ministry of Education, So moving
Oh,
forward,
okay.
we're looking forward to partner with projects like BFIT. So BFIT is also,
Okay.
I'm not sure if you have heard of BFIT. They're also in the EdTech.
No.
So they are also in the EdTech part. Just that their focus is on the normal students,
Oh,
like I should
okay.
say. So our focus is we are focusing on the visually impaired,
Visually impaired, yeah.
visual and blind. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's we are looking forward to to partner with them because there are some resources which they have already put in schools, which we feel like we might also utilize those same resources. I'll give you an example. Our
Yeah.
system, in our deployment, we're installing internet. The first one, Starlink internet. So if there is a
Yeah. Oh,
school,
yeah. Starlink, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So if there is a brand school close to a school where BFIT has already implemented their project, and the brand school
Okay.
doesn't have electricity, instead of us
Okay.
implanting a solar power, we can use the power which BFIT has already installed to power our
Oh.
system. Whilst if BFIT
Oh.
wants to update their tablets and stuff, they can use our internet. So they
Wow.
we
That's actually nice.
yeah, so commercially we both benefit. Yeah. So moving forward, uh, as we are planning to scale to 14, because phase one was scaling to 14 schools, and phase two we are scaling to 400 schools here in Malawi. So
So phase one is at the moment you are in phase one, 2 schools,
yeah, two
right?
schools.
So
But our target is
phase two
14
is
schools.
10 schools.
Yeah. Phase two. Let's start with phase one. Phase one is 14 schools. We have already done 2 schools.
14 schools. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the target in 14 in phase one is to go into 14 schools and install at least 140 system with a hope of
Oh,
reaching out to 800 plus visually impaired
okay.
students. That's for phase one.
Oh, okay.
So phase two, we are planning to move from the 14 schools to 400 schools and reach at
400
least
schools. Wow.
yeah, and reach at least over 30,000 visually impaired students. Then we move to Zambia, we move to Mozambique, we move to
Oh, okay.
Tanzania.
Now.
Yeah, so the beauty part about the system is, AI. We easily customize the syllabus. When you go to Tanzania, you get the syllabus, we train the system. We even train the accent. Like, you're from Nigeria, I'm from Malawi. Obviously, the
Yeah.
accent is different. For example,
Yeah.
some may say learning, some may say learning. So when you say learning in Malawi, it means
Yeah.
so we
So that
customize all those
that
things.
can be customized to meet
Yeah, that can be, yeah.
to localize
Yeah, exactly.
The accent, yeah, and understanding.
Yeah,
I was going
yeah,
to ask the plan that you have in terms of it, because this your innovation is something that can be scaled globally, right?
yeah,
It's something
yeah,
that can be scaled globally, and I like the fact that you already have that roadmap,
yeah.
that's been that you're working towards, that you're working with. So I like that. So, but come to think of it, I believe that scaling comes with its own challenges, right? Because there are different factors that would help you catalyze this, either catalyze or affect the scaling. I mean, we talk about funding, we talk about even policies that would, of course, help you,
Yeah,
to ensure that your innovation is being adopted and, of course, deployed in different in other nations. Right? There will also be partnership. Then, in terms
yeah,
of the ecosystem, because beyond you would need content,
yeah,
right? You will
yeah,
need content. You will need, of course, you need to also train the teachers that would guide these
yeah,
students.
yeah.
So in all of this, what are you? How are you hoping to navigate all of this in terms of the ecosystem, the policies, and then the funding?
Right. Let me start with the funding part. Uh, we are sourcing funds from Save the Children International, and of course some our funds
Okay.
from other investors and stuff. But we're open for partnership, because for us to go further, we need a lot of money to reach
Yeah.
a larger number. So just to mention, we have calculated cost per school to be $5,000.
Oh,
So
okay.
we are installing 10 systems at the school. So we're talking of we are using refurbished gadgets.
Yeah.
Not they're not just that brand new, but they're refurbished. They work nicely. So it's 5,000 per 5,000 US dollars per school. So we're talking of devices, internet subscription, and training of course. So 5,000 were able to launch the system in a school.
5,000 per school.
5,000 per school, US dollars per school.
Per, is it per student or per school?
Per school. So only 5,000 we
Okay.
saw the system on the school.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we open for for partnership, so that we scale the innovation further. In terms of things to do with content and stuff, here in Malawi, as I said, we have involved the Ministry of Education. So under the Ministry of Education, we have this body called the DICWAS, is the Department of Quality Assurance, uh, which
Okay.
uh, which manages the content here in Malawi. So we're hoping to do the same protocol when we move to other countries, be it Zambia, Mozambique, Tanzania. We know we have to follow protocol. We follow the champions in the industry, so that will make things easier for us. Things to do with policies. Likely enough for me, I've been in a number of policy making workshops. Policies are there. I think what's really remaining is to make that policies in use, so that we maximize the expectations in the policies.
Interesting.
Yeah,
All
largely.
right. I mean, that's nice. It's
Yeah,
good that you're already having that figured out, because it's so important. Sometimes while we can fixate our eyes on, oh, we want to scale, we want to build this, we want to
yeah,
enter Zambia, we don't often time. So many people don't often time check what are the requirements. I mean, do you, because beyond even the requirement, do you have the capacity? You have to also assess
yeah,
the organization. You have to assess yourself as an organization if you have the capacity and the willpower and that
yeah,
power to that would help you, scale at length. So, and I believe that you have the support that you need. I mean, with Justin Saunders
yeah,
behind
yeah,
you,
yeah,
he's someone that has vast experience in navigating all of these, and when it comes to government partnerships and all of these areas. I believe that with that, and it's something that you'll be able to, scale at fast. Then, in
yeah, and
terms of investment, you want to
yeah,
say
yeah,
something?
yeah. And the good thing also, working with people like Save the Children, they are already established in the country. They are in out of countries. People of Monifund government. So collaborating with them
Okay.
is at least minimizing the hectic of us, breaking yeah, thing that goes. Yeah, you can go.
That That's great. That's actually nice. So for your organization, what model are you running at the moment? Are you running it as an NGO or as a social enterprise? You want to make your money, yet in the same line also make an impact. So what model are you running?
Yeah. So one thing I didn't mention. So Accessibility Africa, we are a commercial company. We are not an NGO.
Oh,
We
okay.
are we are a commercial company. But some might wonder how we are trying to lower this thing. The system is free for the
Okay.
kids.
Oh, okay.
The blank classroom is free for the kids, free for the school, the teachers. But as Accessibility Africa, we've introduced some other activities which are aimed at generating revenue, which will sustain the system and
Oh,
also
okay.
help us keep the system further. Because what happens if donor money stop coming? How we,
Yeah, of course. Money is the oil for the wheel.
yeah, Save the Children
Yeah.
is here, but what if Save the Children says, no, we have stopped? Of course, we're not hoping they're not going to do that. We're hoping not.
So you need good money.
Yeah, so we introduced some initiatives, data capture, internet for trees, big data. So what we've done is we are installing Starlink internet in the schools,
Yeah.
and we're saying the community must also benefit from the school, but the community must not benefit for free. They must do something for the school for them to benefit. So
Oh,
us
okay.
being us being a commercial company, we are not a handout. We are a hand up.
Oh, okay.
The community must do something for them to benefit.
Oh,
So
okay.
we have our ways of getting our money back from the internet we're putting. You
From
know,
yeah.
be it initiative of tree planting. So if you plant trees, you have a couple of days on internet. If you
Yeah.
plant this amount of trees and the tree survives, you get a gadget and stuff. So that
So
tree, for example, a $10 tree now, in 10 years' time, might be
yeah.
worth dollars. So whether it's something which
Okay.
can be looked or sold, we're still making money. So in a long run, we're
You
not
still
making.
make money, yeah.
Yeah, we're still relying on donor funds now. We're not making our own money now, but with our model which we have, we believe that we'll make money in 3-4 years to come, which will help us sustain the system.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you have that plan in the pipeline.
yeah, we have that plan in the right now.
That's good because to be honest,
Yeah,
sustainability it's so key for the
yeah,
organization,
very, very
right?
key.
As long as you want to make an impact, you also need to think about it, how to sustain the organization for a long game, because looking at the cost of the deployment, I mean, you need to
Yeah,
get the laptops, you need to get the
mm,
internet services, of
yeah,
course, even content. I don't know, maybe you had to engage people that will curate the content,
yeah,
and I
yeah, yeah,
believe
yeah.
that the content are also according to the curriculum of the schools.
Of the schools. Yeah. So that one we involve teachers because we are not champions in content development.
Yeah.
So we are a team. We are a team. So we take teachers who are champions in that sector. This is what we're trying to do to content for us. Then they give us content. After that, we are programmers, developers. We take that content, we train the system AI, then we slate it for. We also have the quality assurance because before taking the content to the student, we have to make sure that it has gone a number of testing before it gets to the student. So
Yeah.
there's a quality assurance department within us which does the
Oh, okay.
testing before we go to the schools. Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
the
Oh,
system also
that's great.
the system also is clever enough because we take feedback from the students,
Okay.
how so it's daily feedback after each and every lesson, so that helps us to keep on improving, so it's getting better day by day.
It's getting better. So in terms of feedback, right?
Yeah,
What has been the feedback, right? How has it been able? At least you've deployed and
yeah.
you are understanding the progress. I believe you're understanding the progress. And in terms of feedback, how has it been able to improve the learnings of the students, and of course also the teachers to student relationship? How has that been able to improve their learnings, and of course the workings of the teachers with the students?
Yeah, I think since 2022, That's when we started developing the system. 2022, it was tested for the first time in June with the help of Next Gen Labs, Save the Children, Money Fund.
Okay.
So we started taking feedback from the users from that point,
Oh,
So
okay.
the feedback was okay for the first time, but we got out of challenges, the things to do with accent. So the accent was different with what uh, we are used here in Malawi. So
Yeah.
we try to change our accent using our AI and stuff, do with it has been a what we can say, going to the fields, taking the feedback and us improving. So the
Yeah.
feedback has been constructive over the years.
Okay.
It has
Oh,
been.
okay.
I'll give you an example. There was this other student, Peter. His name is Peter from Chilanga School for the Blind in Kasungu. So he
Okay.
said that when I went visiting, that was last year, he was very happy. He was like, I know I've passed 93% in English, which I
Wow.
wasn't able to do in the previous
Wow.
years because I was frequently using the system.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the teacher was even there to say, yeah, yeah. Last time when he failed English, he got 34. He was even inside. He was saying, "No, I'll kill myself," and things like that. The guy was depressed.
I mean,
So
that's actually impressive.
so you can see that with this system, we have seen we can see that students now the academic performance itself is improving term by term, day by day, and the feedback is okay. Of course, challenges are always there. I shouldn't lie. Challenges, to be honest,
Of
challenges are
course.
always
Of
there,
course. Of
and
course.
it's because of the challenges we are facing that is also contributing to make the system, better day by day. Because
Yeah.
as we are trying to improve the challenges, we are improving the system. Yeah. So we need
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Challenges should be there.
It's important. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
challenges
actually
should be there.
important. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good that you have seen the improvement. I mean, you're getting the feedback because it's so important when it comes to solutions like that.
Yeah.
Because you also have to look at okay, how best why these students are being improved, right? Why
Yeah.
their performances are being improved. It's also how best can you also improve your own solution to
Yeah,
ensure
of course.
that it also keeps improving the student. So,
Yeah.
based on the feedback that you've been able to get so far, so what are the features that you maybe that you've implemented, or are you looking to implement to make the system better? Better.
Yeah, I think we have addressed a lot of challenges. Only that I didn't get to explain the system further.
Okay.
The other thing was to do with entertaining classes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the process of learning. Just you being in a class, learning. It can be boring sometimes. So
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
do
I agree with you.
from the feedback we got from the schools and the students, we thought, oh no, let's make this system entertaining. I think, and that's
Okay.
also the reason why a lot of students are willing to engage with the system. Because we have had
Yeah.
situations in Chilanga School for the Blind Classroom where the senior classes will not allow the junior classes to come into the system, because the learning process is entertaining, is learning. So what we did is we added songs, games. So the songs I'll give an example. If they're learning about parts of speech, during the lesson, there will be section where they will be singing songs about parts of speech.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we,
Ah, nice.
because we believe that if a student haven't gotten the concept from the teacher, the student might at least get the concept from the song or from the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either way, the student must get the concept. So
Yeah.
as interpreting like that, it's more engaging with the students. There's a concept of learning, there's a concept of entertaining. So when the students are up on the system, it's awesome.
Yeah. I agree with you actually because sometimes learning can be boring, even for other people. Sometimes you need something
Yeah,
to refresh your brain. You need something to even lighten your spirit for you to learn, and we even learn with in different ways. There are people who, of course, enjoy watching movies. They learn through that.
Yeah.
Some people listen when they listen to music, it relaxes their brain, and of course,
Yeah.
they also learn through that.
And that the other thing is that our friends who are visually impaired, obviously they don't have access to visuals.
Of course, of course.
It's different from us when we are young at home. If we are privileged that we have a television, we may learn through cartoons, through movies,
Yeah,
But
yeah,
this our friends, it's on the brain with them. Where what's the other component which they can use to get concepts apart from
yeah.
So the songs, the games,
Oh, okay. So aside from songs, we also have interactive games.
interactive games,
Oh, wow.
voice-based games.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I like how you've been able to build these features in
Voice-based games.
your. Wow. So going forward, I believe that you would at least build maybe more games, and also, of course, look at how other ways that you can, what other things you can incorporate to the system to ensure that it still gets, the system gets better, and ensure
Yeah,
that also they get help them with the learning. So that takes me
yeah,
to these the vision beyond the classroom project. Your organization is Accessibility
Africa,
Africa,
Green
right?
Africa.
And looking at that name, I believe that you have vision beyond the classroom project.
Yeah, yeah,
Because when I did a bit of research into about what you do, about the solution, I discovered that even when you were at the hackathons that you participated in, you presented two solutions. One was for flush system,
yeah,
right? Yeah, right. And looking at that, I believe that you still have a lot of ideas and solutions that I know that God has
yeah,
blessed you with, that you will still implement, even
yeah,
beyond the scope of this classroom project.
yeah, yeah. Just to mention, I was identified by a hackathon, which was
Okay.
organized by Save the Children and Zuzu Hub back then.
Okay.
But Zuzu Hub was branded to Imagine Livelihood, so that's where I was identified. So
Oh, okay.
we were fed of us. Then they had to select 10, and for the final one, they needed 3 ideas. So
Okay.
I didn't make it to the 3, but Save the Children back then, that was through the innovation manager, Mr. Crispin, said that no, you haven't made it, but you're also going to include you in the incubation at Next Gen Labs. You know,
Wow.
so we got mentorship from Next Gen. That was before I met Justin to formally
Oh,
open the
okay.
company. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the company's mostly to do with education for people who have disabilities. So we're doing for the brand now,
Okay.
but in the background there's also a solution going on for the deaf. You know,
Oh, okay. For
because
the deaf. Oh, okay.
yeah, because questions which you have getting from the minister, yeah, you have done this for the brand. What about the deaf? So there's also a solution coming for the deaf.
Yeah.
We are working in the background. Yeah, so it's specifically for special needs education, but
Question.
we have more to offer to the community and Africa as well.
Wow. I mean, that's great. So
Yeah,
in all of this, you're a young man, and you're a young man, and I believe that because sometimes when we have this burden of ideas, it can be overwhelming.
yeah,
It can be overwhelming. How are you? How are you staying with the grind and yet still be able to live yourself in
yeah,
the midst of all of this?
yeah. I think discipline is key. This discipline is key because you might be a young man with these buzz ideas and stuff, but
Yeah.
if you're not disciplined, you know, have people to help you, have organizations to support you. So discipline is key. I always tell myself that I might not the most innovative guy in Malawi, but
Yeah.
getting this far, it's not just about being innovative. Lot of
Yeah.
things that can be discipline as well and stuff. Yeah, for me, discipline is key. Discipline is key, and
Yeah.
also being someone who's result oriented is also a key factor. you say.
And how are you also be able to, are you in terms of learnings, right? Because in this space, it's a every day there are new solutions. Every day
Yeah.
there is a new development. How are you keeping up with all of these trends and ensuring that you are still learning and equipping yourself to be able to build this solution further, and of course more solutions to come?
I have a team. I have a team. I have a team. There's a team focusing, which solely focus on research, the development part. So it's a team. Yeah, it's a team.
Okay.
It's a team. So some go out there, they look of existing solutions which are in place, on the exist technology which has come out. How can we integrate this technology to our system to make it there? So it's a team.
Okay.
To be honest, on my own, I may not be able to. I'm the one leading, of course, but
Yeah.
yeah, I need support. So we are many of us working in the background. So make sure that we also keep ourselves up to date. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's good because there is the place of research cannot be overemphasized.
yeah,
It's very important that you keep abreast with information within the
yeah,
feed, and of course ensure that also that you build more knowledge in that. So, I would love to ask, I mean,
yeah.
what do you hope? What do you hope that every child who interacts with this your project, with the blind classroom project, believes about themselves?
Yeah. All right. So first of all, is I my hope is that the education itself improves,
Yeah,
because looking at the situation now is a pity. I have been in schools where I interacted with students. You see that a student at the age of 18, 19, 20,
yeah,
at that age, the student is still in primary school, standard 5, primary 4. It means that we are leaving some people behind. Myself, I'm 23,
yeah,
but we are now doing all these things. So
yeah,
it should not be a thing that because someone has a disability, that should not
yeah.
be a factor of leaving that person behind. So my hope is that each and every student which is using the brand classroom system should boost up the knowledge, should
Oh,
improve the knowledge. Just like
yeah.
Peter did from improving English from passing 34 to 95. That's my hope with each and every student
That's
which is
awesome.
using the brand classroom. Yeah. So we should be moving together. No one should be left behind. If
Yeah,
at the age of 17,
inclusivity is very important. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. If at the age of 17, a person who is visually impaired is in Form 1 or maybe tertiary, it should also
yeah,
apply to the other side. So there should not be that gap, because we are leaving
yeah,
people who are capable. It's not that these people cannot do what we are doing, but it's just that the resources
yeah.
allocated to them are just minimal.
They're not with them. Yeah, yeah. I agree with you.
Every student using the brain classroom system should boost up.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because it's not as if you'll be surprised that you'll be surprised how brilliant these people can be.
They
Right?
are
They
intelligent.
just
I'm
need
saying they are
the right
intelligent.
support
Yeah,
and the resources to
yeah,
bring out the best in them. So,
yeah,
so I totally I totally agree with you. To be honest, I do.
yeah,
So, in
yeah.
terms of when it comes to support, right? I mean, our listeners and viewers, how can they support you? How can they learn more about the work you do, and then how can they collaborate with you with Access Ability Africa, and of course for the classroom project, or even beyond, or even investors, because our audience, we have investors, we have government leaders and influencers. We have people, angel VCs and angel investors, like I said, and
Yeah,
we have people who are ready to,
yeah,
they may listen to this conversation and want to invest. How do they contact you, and how can they at least engage you to collaborate?
yeah. So just to emphasize that we are open for collaboration. We want to take this thing further. We're open for
Yeah,
collaboration. Even if you want to help us take this thing to Zambia, Mozambique, and you want to be part of us, we are very open. Investors, donors, we are very
yeah,
open. So to reach us quite easy. So our email is accessabilityafrica@gmail.com. That's the most used one. Find us on LinkedIn, Accessibility Africa Limited. Find us on Facebook, Access Africa Limited. So uh, just feel free to approach us. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. Let's make this impact. Yeah, but we're very
Yeah.
open for innovation. Yeah, sure.
That's great. I believe that our listeners and viewers have heard that, and if they want to collaborate with you, they will definitely reach out.
Yeah,
And I want to, before I wrap up, right, I actually want to
yeah,
thank you once again for coming, for this conversation, for at least obliging our request, and for bringing your voice to the table to, and for the work that you do in terms
yeah,
of inclusivity in education in Africa. It is something that is very important because it's one of those challenges that we're facing in that space, education sector. So this platform, right, is one of the platforms where when we have conversation with our guests, we also tell them to either nominate one or two people who are doing great stuff in their own space that
yeah,
you think that
yeah,
we should
yeah,
have conversation with and have engage and maybe reach out to, and of course bring on this platform to have further conversation about the work that they do, and of course spotlight
yeah,
their own story. So
yeah.
do you have like one or two people that you'd want us to engage?
I think give me a limit of the people I should mention because there are many of them.
You said?
I mean, give me a limit of people I should mention because there are many of them.
No. It's you, right? You. I mean, you know them.
Okay.
You know them. There are a lot of people doing stuff in their own right that, of course, we
Yeah.
might not know. That you know them, and you have their contact, I believe.
Yeah.
So you could. I mean, you could have conversation with them. You know what? These people, they are Bulbling247 would love to have conversation with you because you are doing great stuff in your own right. You're doing something. You are at least building solutions to tackle the challenges that we have in Africa. So it's so
Yeah.
important. So you can.
Yeah. I'll start with people who are in the same space as mine. There's this young guy, Chifundilo Misinde. So Chifundilo Misinde is also developing devices for the visually impaired. We have had conversation
Okay.
for us making our solutions together. Possibly in the
Okay.
future we'll do so. Because we believe that if we work together, if we collaborate, we'll reach a lot of impact. There's Tony from Saigen. There's
Okay.
Innocent Mandiri. Innocent Mandiri, of course, is in the agriculture sector. He's also a young
Okay.
guy. Yeah, he's heading me technologies and innovation. And there's Holis Chibembele. So Holis is doing ICT in girls. So he's also big here
Oh
in Malawi.
wow.
So he's also a genius in that. Yeah. So I think this yeah.
There are people that would yeah. No problem about that. I mean we take.
And, and not forget in the fintech side here in Malawi, there's this young man who is also doing amazing job. Is Steven, Nohata Steven. He's heading Page Angle. So
Nohata, yeah. Nohata, right?
yeah.
Yeah, Peshangu.
Yeah, Page Angle. Yeah.
I watched his own session with Mark.
McDonald.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched.
yeah,
Yeah, at least I would reach out to him.
yeah.
And
Please.
these people that you've mentioned, you can
Yeah,
also have conversation with them, and of
yeah.
course link also up so
I
that
have contact.
we can have that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean
sure.
we have that for that conversation. So I actually want to thank you for coming once again. Thank you for coming on board, and that's the end of our conversation. And I believe that we will follow you up. We'll follow up with the work that you do,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whatever partnership, whatever collaboration, however we can support the work that
yeah,
you're doing in Malawi, we are
yeah,
available. We are available. Maybe in terms of media partnership, we are
yeah,
available, and of course, based on the work that we do, we might get maybe links or get connections with investors that might be interested in your project.
yeah,
We
yeah,
would of course make it a point of call and duty
yeah,
to of course put in the word for you and have
yeah,
conversation with you to ensure that okay, look at the work that this young man is doing in Malawi. It's something
yeah,
that you want to invest in, or it's something that you want to collaborate in. We'll put that on the back of on our mind, and I would definitely follow up with you. I would definitely continue. I have followed you actually across all of your platforms, and we'll keep track with the work that you do. Hopefully, in the next maybe 6 months or 1 year, we'll revisit this conversation again and to see the level of scaling that has been achieved by your organization. So, Staff Nyoni, thank you once again for coming on board, and I hope that our listeners and viewers have gained a lot. I mean, they have, you've sparked their interest and ideas in, of course, motivating them to also want to build something, and of course, build solutions to address common challenges in Africa. So thank you for doing this, and thank you for coming once again. Yeah. All right. Bye, listeners.
Bye.
That's it on today's episode of Bulbling247. So we'll see you on the next episode. But before that, don't forget to follow us across our platforms, and also subscribe to our YouTube channels. Follow us on Apple Podcast and on Spotify, and don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter so that you can have access to our digest across platforms. So yeah, see you on the next episode. Bye.